How's it hanging, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today, I am going to be doing my review for The Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 1, Episode 1, which was titled Old Acquaintances. And of course, this is the pilot, the premiere to the brand new spinoff with Maggie and Negan. And going into this episode, I was very excited simply because all the trailers that they were putting out for this new series were looking good. And I made a whole video going over it and just kind of giving my thoughts on the trailers. And I love the vibe of this show. I was really intrigued just to see how New York was going to be tackled and how it was going to look like, just because the little bits we saw in those trailers, they were looking really awesome. And I really thought that in this episode in particular, set design looks great. You know, the CGI kind of reconstructing these ruined buildings and, you know, all the overgrowth and stuff like that. It looks pretty good overall. And that's just one thing I love about this show so far, is that it looks great. It really does. And it feels entirely different from any other show we have gotten in the Walking Dead universe so far, which is a good thing. We need things to kind of feel fresh and unique. And this one definitely feels like an entirely different show. It doesn't really feel like The Walking Dead. Yes, we have Walking Dead characters, of course, them being Maggie and Negan, and I suppose Herschel as well. But it just feels very different from that show overall, which is a good thing. One negative, though, I will say is when they first get to New York in this episode, which at least they do get to Manhattan, because I was kind of worried they were just kind of screwing around on the outskirts. But luckily, they do fully get into Manhattan in this episode. But it's during nighttime, and it does kind of create a little bit of an interesting vibe. But I would have liked to have seen more of the city in broad daylight. I feel like they were kind of covering some of the, I don't know, design of the city with the nighttime. And we did get to see a little glimpse of it towards the end with the character of Croat on top of the roof and all that, which we'll talk about him in a minute. But I do want to see more. I want to see more of the city because it looks so damn cool from all the things we've seen so far. But yeah, I don't know. The nighttime did kind of add an interesting element, I suppose, kind of with the fog when they were on the boat and going into the city. That was really cool and was probably the best use of nighttime for the city. But I don't know. It just, I want to see it in broad daylight to give me some, like, I don't know, Last of Us vibes, because there were some really good cities, landscapes, and obviously the game and the show. And I kind of want to see that replicated, but something that suits the Walking Dead universe in a bit of a different fashion. So, yeah, I don't know. It looks really good, though. And it was just great to see Maggie and Negan again. Of course, Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan are still fantastic together. They still have great chemistry. Love their dynamic. And they have some great conversations and great moments in this episode. You know, we have Negan actually ask Maggie how many fathers and husbands she's killed. And I think that was a good moment. You know, I think that is definitely something that makes you think a little bit. I still think Negan is ultimately a bad person. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you can't really say he's not a bad person. And I don't really think he's been redeemed, and I don't think he ever will be. I still love his character, though, and that's part of the reason I love him so much, is that he is kind of an irredeemable character. As that's just my opinion on the Negan character. You know, when you do something like that, you are kind of just irredeemable. But I still like Negan, you know? Let me of course, put that out there. Anyways, the main plot of this series is obviously Maggie's son Herschel is taken by this mysterious person, Croat, and apparently he's like an ex-savior, which is kind of interesting. We've never seen him before in the show, of course, like in the main show, but Croat is very menacing. Let me just talk about him for a second. Just the little bit we saw of him at the end, where he's kind of not torturing Herschel just yet, but he's kind of, freaking him out a little bit, and he's definitely stressing me out. Don't you dare hurt Herschel, Croat. And he's missing an ear. He's menacing looking. And yeah, it's just, he's got a great character design overall and a very eerie vibe to him. So I think he will be a very great villain in this show. I think he will be maybe one of the best villains we've seen in the Walking Dead universe, because he's just a scary guy. And the way he just kind of cuts the zip line and lets that guy fall to his death, which is man, that is so dark. And yeah, I don't know. It was just, he is a scary guy. But Maggie has to go to Negan, obviously, because she believes that he's dealt with Croat before, since he was an ex-savior. And that is an interesting kind of plot line that they have to go with. And obviously they kind of have to team up and go to Manhattan to try and get Herschel back. And I think it was really good. And Maggie's really going through it right now. She's still coming off the events of the Walking Dead finale, where they kind of made up to a degree. Now that it's been, I think, another 2 years, perhaps, I guess, 3 since we've seen that interaction, because they did do that 1 year time skip after, towards the end of the Walking Dead finale. And now it's been another 2 years, so I guess it's been a little while since they've interacted, and a lot has changed. And ultimately, it seems that Maggie's kind of hating Negan again. She's still very conflicted. She's having those dreams about Glenn's death, and obviously wanting to get Herschel, of course. So she's in a bad spot, and we see her kill a walker very brutally at the beginning of the episode, and in a reminiscent way to, obviously, Negan killing Glenn. And I like towards the end, obviously, when she's about to kill one of the marshals, it's like, yeah, she was about to, I think it was actually Pearlie she was about to kill. Pearlie Armstrong, which is an amazing name. I really love his character so far as well. He's really cool, and she was about to, like, beat him to death with, I think it was a gun of some kind, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. But it was just like, Negan kind of gave her that look, and it's like, are you any different from me? And I still do think she's very different from Negan. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I just really love their dynamic. It's very interesting, and I can't wait to see that be even more explored in this season. And yeah, going back to Pearlie Armstrong, he's awesome. He's kind of another antagonist in this series, and I'm wanting to see more of him for sure, because he was really cool. Look, the cockroach scene as well in this episode. I think that was really gross. It was a very, kind of horrific episode in terms of the horror elements, which is good. I really did kind of creep me out. Again, Croat scared me a lot, and the cockroach scene was really gross. And I really like that it's kind of feeling like a, obviously a horror show, which it is, but also a drama of some kind. And let's talk about the intro. That was really cool. The intro sequence looks good. Unfortunately, I don't think Bear McCreary, the composer, came back to do the music for this show. Not that the music's bad, but I don't know, that's kind of unfortunate, just because I think Bear McCreary is a cool guy. But yeah, I did like the intro sequence. It looks really awesome, and I'm just loving the vibe of the show so far. It's pretty interesting. I'm very excited to see where it goes from here. We only have 6 episodes this season, so only 5 remain, but I'm super hyped to see what happens. But let me hear your thoughts on the episode down below. What did you guys think of the first episode of Dead City? I thought it was decent. Again, I wouldn't say it was like, amazing, but this show has so much potential ultimately. So I'm super hyped, and I'm definitely going to be continuing to watch it. So yeah, post your thoughts and comments down below. If you guys liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Check out my Letterboxd and Twitter down in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.